Hello, welcome to the Re-Internet Come Forth YouTube channel. My name is Antoinette Smith, and I'm your author. Remember to get your books, people. Some of them are on sale at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Google, Apple iTunes, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million, Kobo, Indigo, and Tails. All of them come in paperback and digital version. Get your copies today. My books are now available in audio. You can get them on Scribe-D, so go there and subscribe. I think it's like $10 a month, and you can let all of them be read to you. So I am so excited that my book is on another platform. Thank you so much for your continuous support of purchasing my products, sharing my products with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Y'all keep me writing, okay? Don't forget about my book release, My Jesus Experience, Our Journey. It comes with its own bookmark, but now you can get it read to you. Don't forget about my newest release, Life After Losing a Child. It comes with its own bookmark. You can get this one read to you as well. The Re-Internet Come Forth book series, you can have it read to you. The behind the scene book series, you can have it read to you. So I am so excited, y'all. This is the behind the scene book series. Remember, it is a 5-part book series, the sequel to the Real Internet Come Forth book series. If you buy any 4 of these books, I'll give you the 5th book free. Send me proof that you have purchased any of my products, and I will get the bookmarks and loyalty cards out to you. Okay, we are reading from the final book, the behind the scenes, value number 5, titled Made for Him. God uniquely made me from my husband. And this is the final reading, y'all. This is my last video. We have completed all 16 books. I'm going to be taking me a break for 2 months because I need to rest, number 1. And then number 2, I have multiple projects and things that I'm working on that needs my undivided attention. So I have completed all of these books, so I'm going to take me 2 months to rest, and then I'll reconvene in April. I will be going back over the Real Internet Come Forth value 1, 2, and 3, because when I first started over a year ago, I only read 1 chapter per book out of that book. And so I'm going to go back and break down that book. We're going to talk about molestation, because it's in that book. We're going to talk about rape, because it's in that book. We're going to talk about teen pregnancy, because it's in that book. I became pregnant at 12, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about being a student and a mother, because I became a mother at age 13, and I had to still go to school. And then we're going to talk about being a domestic violence, being a battered woman, being in a domestic violence relationship, because it is in that book as well. So I'm going to break that book down. There's 3 books. We're going to be on that book for 3 months, talking about different topics and subject of that book. Okay, so that's the Lord told me to do. I'm going to do that book for 3 months, and then by that time, my new books will be out, which is my first one, Our Journey to Oneness, How He Found Me, and that is about my husband and our relationship, how we met, and the first 2 years of our marriage. So you'll be reading about. I know everybody waiting on that book. Everybody want to know, okay? So it's going to be out this year. And then the second book is titled Unlimited Grace. And it is about my empowerment ministry, the You Can Make It sessions, the Intro to Workforce, Intro to Business Management seminars that I teach, and how to write a book or a book series. I'm putting it in book form because I haven't been able to teach seminars. I did them on this YouTube channel last year. So I'm going to put it in book form so that way you can have it at your fingertips, okay? So those books will be out, and I'll let you know when they get closer. When they're going to be out and released. So thank you for your continuous support of watching these videos. You can always go back and watch these videos on here. Please do so. It's 75 videos on this YouTube channel. You can go on my Facebook. I have a Facebook under Antoinette Smith, and I have 50 videos over there with live readings and live questions and answer sessions called a Meet the Author session over there. And then I have an Instagram account titled Real Internet Come Forth Instagram account. And I have 60 videos uploaded over there as well. So check them out. If you want a live reading, or go to Scribe-D, and my books can be read to you, okay? So I do appreciate y'all so much. So we are reading from the final book, Behind the Scenes, value number 5, Made for Him, chapter 8. And then I have some questions that I need to answer, 2 questions that I need to answer. And I'm going to answer and we'll be done with that, okay? Chapter 8 is titled, Women Are Multipliers. Women are multipliers. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female, created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fowl of the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. That is Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. That is the King James Version. Multiply means to make or become greater. Increase used intensively implies progressive growth in size, amount, and intensity. Use transitively, it may imply simple, not necessary progressive action. Addition. Enlarge implies expansion or extension that makes greater in size or capacity. Addition is what is already well grown and well developed. Multiply implies increase in number by natural generation or by indefinite repetition of a process to increase the number of reproducing. Whenever a woman enters your life, you will have multiplication, increase, and enlargement. We are made to produce, reproduce, and expand in everything we do. I like to say we women are all of small details of the big picture. The man, the husband, the leader sees the vision, the big picture, but the women add all the small details to that picture. Example, the vision of living in a 2-story brick house with a wrought iron fence in Brookhaven, Mississippi is all the husband sees and tells his wife, baby, this will be our house in size, location, and texture. She says, okay, honey, that's great. We will live in Brookhaven, Mississippi in a 2-story brick house with red shutters and surrounded by a wrought iron fence sitting on 4 acres of land overlooking the lake. The driveway will be a 1/4 mile long, lined with Japanese magnolia trees. In the front yard to the left, 1 magnolia tree with green scrubs outlining the front of our house. Black mush surrounded the frost-proof gardenias on the front porch, 2 rocking chairs to look at the view of the lake. In the backyard on the left side, my rose garden with waterfall in the corner of the garden. Oh, and right beside our fire pit with moonlight talks. On the back porch, a swing to sit in the evening talks and iced tea. On the far right side are barbecue grill, picnic tables for cookout. Now you see how I just added, multiplied, and increased my husband's vision for our home? This is what we are called to do as women, but to be mindful because all of our details, multiplication, increases cost more, but our God shall supply our every need, which means we increase our husband and houses and finances too. Our finances are multiplied because we spend wisely, we invest wisely, and we save wisely. We look to the good of our households, women, mothers, wives, daughters, sisters, and friends. Walk in the spirit of multiplication today that you may be able to extend your hand to the poor and needy as a daughter of the King. And I'm going to end the chapter right there. We are going to answer these 2 questions, which going to end up being 5 or 6 questions. Okay. This one is from Lagos, Nigeria, and it says, in the process of God uniquely making you for your husband, what was it that make you know this man was your man? Because when he showed up, this man was far away, not around you. This man was from another country. Was it that you was tired of waiting for a man? Was it you were desperate for any man? Was it pressure from the outside? What was that make you sure this man is serious about you? How did you know he was for you? I'm going to read it again. In the process of God uniquely making you for your husband, what was it that make you know your husband is your man? Because when he showed up, this man was far away, not around you. This man was in another country. Was it that you was tired of waiting for a man? Was you desperate for any man? Was it pressure from the outside? What was it that made you sure this man is serious about you? How did you know he was for you? Okay. Let me get back to the question. What was that make you know this man is your man? Like I said, in the process, God uniquely made me for my husband. How did I know? How would it make me know that this man was my man? Because God has told me a series of things about my husband, describe different things about him, how he would be, and different stuff like that. But I had 2 phone calls before my husband found me, 4 months exactly before he found me. That a lady, she described my husband to me. She told me we would be married in a foreign country. And at the time, I'm thinking that I was scheduled to go to Israel. So I was like, oh, my husband gonna find me. And we're gonna be married in a foreign country, because in my mind, I knew that my husband was not from Mississippi. They had already been established. They had already been established that my husband was not from Mississippi. But I was thinking he was coming from another state in the United States. I wasn't thinking he was coming from another country. But that wasn't the case. So she told me that, and I'm still thinking that we're gonna be married in a foreign country, that my husband is from somewhere here in the US. Like I said, I was scheduled to go to Israel that year. She began to tell me the dates when we'd be engaged. She began to tell me that our marriage would be rather quickly. She began to tell me different things that would happen within our marriage and different things like that. And I wrote everything down, thanked her, and like that. And it wasn't somebody that I was like per se close with. We was in business together. So it wasn't like we knew about each other's personal lives, because when she called me, she said, congratulations. I said, congratulations for what? She was like, your marriage. I said, I'm not married. And she was like, you married, I see your husband. And she began to tell me. So the Lord used her to prophesy to me and to tell me details about my husband and marriage. So anyway, I wrote that down, and then 2 or 3 days later, I got a call from my prayer partner and another pastor at my church and ministry. And they began to tell me that my spiritual father had seen my husband, and to tell me to prepare my wedding and plan my wedding how I wanted it to be, because he was going to find me quickly, to find my wedding dress and different things like that, to get things in motion, because he's going to find me quick. And then he began to let me know that I did not know him, that he was not around me. I had not never met him or seen him. So that threw me for a loop, because I'm like, okay, I ain't never seen him. He ain't around me. So I'm like, okay, I'm writing everything down like I always do. And then he also said, the Lord said to go back through my notes that I had been taking about my husband, because for 5 or 6 years, when I really began to understand that I was marrying for the will of God and not myself and things of that nature, I began to stop asking God to I began to stop helping God to find my husband. I used to try to help him find him so I can hear him get married, But when I got over that phase, I began to say, God, okay, well, it's the one that want me to be married, so I'm going to let you have full range in finding my husband and things like that. So I would ask him, since you are finding my husband, since you know my husband, I need you to tell me about my husband. And he began to tell me a series of things about my husband over the course of 5 or 6 years, and I would write it down. He began to tell me how he wanted me to dress, how he, the things he liked pertaining to me and how to dress for him. He began to tell me my husband's favorite color. He began to tell me, different things about his likes, dislikes, and things of that nature, and my role to him and his role to me. So I began to pull out my notebook and start to back reading over my notes from 5 years. So every day for the next 4 months, I would read some of what I wrote out, and the Lord had told me, show me the dreams that he had showed me. I had written them out, and I began to go over everything. So that way, when my husband, he told me to do this, so that way when my husband manifested, I would know that it was him. Okay. So that's how I know that this man was my man, because when he showed up, he was from far away. Yes, he was. He was from Nigeria. I mean, it said this man was from another country. Yes, he was. And it said, was it that you was tired of waiting for a man? No, I wasn't tired of waiting for a man. I had grown beyond my years of desperation. I had grown beyond being lonely and things like that. I was too busy to be lonely. I began to operate in my gift, like Apostle Paul said. He wished that all men was like him, because God has given every man their gift. This one, that gift, and that's another. Singleness is a gift. I had began to operate fully in my gift of singleness. I loved being single. I had waited so many years to be single, not to be connected to any man in any form. You have to understand that I got pregnant at 12 and had my first child at 13. So I always had to be responsible and in connection with this person and that person, but my children were all grown. I had grandchildren. My children was off living their life and, living in their own homes and things of that nature. And I was finally free. I was finally, single, and I can go and come when I get ready. So I was not lonely. I was not depressed. I was not despondent or anything. I took my years of singleness and began to do the things that I had always dreamed of doing: writing books, building business, ministering to people. And I can go and come when I choose, because I knew that the time was going to come that I was going to be married. And I knew that I had to consult with another individual to do the things that I was doing. And I couldn't just be freelance and go and be gone from home 2-3 months like that. I would have to, consult with my husband and enter into my role of being a wife. But no, I wasn't desperate for I wasn't tired of waiting. In fact, the Lord had to start telling me to start saying that I was ready to be married, because I was really, really enjoying my singleness. I had no sex partners. I had no sex friends or anything like that. It had been years since I had sex, and I was loving it. I was enjoying it because I was loving myself for the first time in my life. I was living my life for the first time in my life, free of heartbreak, free of a lot of different things. So I was loving my freedom. So no, I wasn't tired of waiting. And then it says, was I desperate for any man? I had outgrown my years of desperation when the Lord began to heal me and to cleanse me of my past, of my hurts, and get to the root cause of my issues and turn me into a different person, the woman that He had designed me to be. I had no desperation in me. I had no desperation in me. I was content. I was settled. It still is content and settled, because He became my all in all. I gave my life totally to Him, freely and wholeheartedly. So I was lacking in anything. So I wasn't missing anything. So my years of desperation was gone. And then it say, was it that you make, wait a minute. Was it there was pressure from the outside? No, I didn't have pressure from the outside. I had friends and family that would ask me, and different people ask me why I'm not married. You single, you successful, you pretty, you this, you that. Why you not married? And I say, I'm waiting on Him. And then, you say that for a number of years, and people are like, well, who you waiting on? Because this man you waiting on, we don't see him. We want to see who this is you waiting on. And I say, I want to see him too. Because the man God is describing to me, I don't see him anywhere. Like, where is he? Or did I not write it down right? What He's showing me, did I misunderstand what God was saying to me? But it wasn't pressure from the outside, because I don't let people pressure me in being in relationships. I don't let people pressure me into doing things that I don't want to do, because this is my life. I have to live my life. And nobody can live my life for me. So I've never been like that. People, pressures from the outside. I got to do this, and peer pressure and all. No, please, all of that, no. It wasn't no pressure from the outside. And they say, what was that make you sure this man is serious about you? Because after a series of weeks, series of months, maybe like after the first of all, we started talking about ministry. That's how we connected and met and da. And then when he began to talk about being my husband, I shut everything down. I stopped talking to him, like I don't have time for this, da da. And 3 weeks later, the Lord told me to go call him. Once the Lord confirmed that he was my husband, and then we began to start back talking every day, start back praying together every day, days of fasting, communion, things like that, to build a solid foundation in our marriage. And so one day when I called him like, baby, okay, baby, how you doing? How your day going? And he was like, your floors look good. And I was like, my floor? And he tried to hurry up and take it back. Like, he just said, I said, yeah, you said something about some floors. And he was quiet. I was like, no, spit it out. I heard you say something about my floors, some floors or something. And then he was like, oh, it's going to be a surprise. He was like, the Lord told me to, build you your Empowering Ministry house. Like, you need your own space. You like quiet. You need your own space. You need your own office space, your own space you could just go to apart from the main house. So that is what I'm working on, the man putting your floors in today. And I was like, oh my God, really? I started crying. I was so touched. I'm like, because I have slept with all kind of men, laid up with all kind of men, gave my body, my time, everything to me, and they never tried to buy, build, or do nothing for me, And this man had never been in the same room with me, had never seen me face to face, touch me or anything, and yet you building a whole house for me. It had to be God. You know what I mean? So that's how I knew that he was serious about me. He began to introduce me to his pastor, his assistant pastor, his friends, his family, his everyone that he introduced me to. He had been in a relationship with them for over 10 or 15 years. He is a man of great integrity that he don't believe in taking friendship or relationships lightly. He's still connected to a lot of his childhood friends. He's just a loving man. That's how I know he was serious about me. Then they say, how did you know he was for you? Because we were compatible in so many ways, different but yet compatible. Okay, so the next one is from California. Say, what was your reaction once your husband found you? And how did you manage the people's response to you getting a husband from a different country? How do you manage people's response that doesn't agree with your decision of marriage? Okay. Hello, California. And it said, what was your reaction once your husband found you? How did you manage the people's response to you getting a husband? What different from a different country? How do you manage people's response that doesn't agree with your decision of marriage? Okay. When my husband found me, I was happy, happy, happy. I was so happy because I had been longing for my husband. I had been preparing for him, waiting for him. So I was ecstatic when he found me. I was peaceful. I was joyful, and still is. Like, wow, my wait is over. Now I'm going to have somebody that is just one with me. I don't have to do a lot of things alone anymore. When it comes to ministry, when it comes to business, you need somebody to be on one accord with you. You need somebody that you can just trust. And God had told me that he was sending me help. He was sending me a husband that not only going to be my husband, he's going to be many, many more things to me. And he really is. He filled a lot of shoes in my life. So I was ecstatic when he found me, overwhelmed that God loved me so much to send me a man of his caliber. Okay. And they say, how do you manage the people response to you getting a husband from a different country? I didn't get a husband from a different country. The Lord happened to choose my husband. He just lived in another country. So I didn't get a man from another country. My husband found me. The man that God had for me, I accepted him. And he just happened to be in another country. So that's the way I like to put it. But I understand what you're saying. A lot of people knew I was waiting to be married. Okay. A lot of people knew I was waiting to be married. So when I began to like, I'm getting married, and they like, oh, I'm so excited. Glad you get married. Okay, congratulations. We've been waiting on you to get married. Who is he? Where he from? And then I say he from Nigeria. Then it's like everything stopped. The whole conversation changed. Then it go to like an interrogation. How did y'all meet? Are you sure where you meet him at? Is you sure he for real? Do he got more than one wife? Is this man for real? Is he scamming you? Did you go on dating line and this and this? So the first time that happened to me, I was kind of thrown off because of the person it was coming from. And it made me feel like you don't trust my decisions that I make. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer about my husband and things like that. It's you done made this thing about I done made it about me because you don't like the decision I make. You don't think I can make sound decisions or things of that nature. So I just so that's how I deal with it. And then it said, how do you manage people's response that don't agree with your decision on marriage? You don't have to agree with my decision on marriage. I may not agree with the decision that you made for marriage. I may not like the man or woman that you with. But that's okay because you don't live my life. I don't live your life. You don't live mine. I don't live in your house. I don't live your life. I don't have to be with you on a daily basis. You don't have to be with me on a daily basis. And it's okay. It's okay to disagree with somebody's decision that they make. But ultimately, the decision is mine. I don't need anybody permission to be married, and I didn't get anybody permission to be married. I don't need anybody permission to stay married. I don't need anybody permission to be happy and joyous and free and things of that nature. You know, if you don't like my decision of marriage, fine. You don't have to be in a relationship with us. And people that's not happy for my marriage, they don't be in a relationship with us. It's simple on both sides, his side and my side. So that's how I deal with it. No hard feelings. People have a right to their likes and dislikes. People have a right to their own opinions and speculations and come to their own conclusions, because when you don't know, you create stuff. When you don't know the truth and when you don't know what's going on, you fantasize and come up with all scenarios and this how it happened and this how it was and this and that nature. So I don't be bothered with all of that kinds of stuff. People have a right to feel and think. They felt and thought a certain way about me before I even had a husband. So I knew it was gonna be a whole different thing once I got a husband. And this is why I love the Lord and how he allowed me to orchestrate my life and set things in motion even before I got my husband, because it was a lot of things I wanted to fulfill and do so God can get the glory out of my life, like starting my businesses and starting my ministry and writing my books and all that, because it'll be easy to say, okay, well, she just doing that because she got a husband. Or she just have that level of success because she has a husband. No, I have this level of success because I have God. He is my all in all. And even though he have given me a husband, now he's just going to add to me. I'm going to add to him. And we're going to grow and increase in more in the glory of God and to bring God glory. It's not about either one of us. It's about us being in obedience to God and being with the person that he have designed for us to be with. So, they don't agree with it. Then that mean they don't agree with God. And I leave it at that. So thank you for your continuous support of watching these videos, sharing these videos, purchasing my products. Do not forget you can get these books in audio now. Audio, you can get them read to you on Scribe D, okay? So remember that this is the last one. I will be back on in 2 months because I need to rest and I need to get these other projects taken care of. So remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.